basically what we're going to ask you to do is become an ambassador, a Yellow Ribbon ambassador for Lawrence High School. Okay. You'll be somewhat of a gatekeeper in terms of you're in the halls, you have a sense of what's going on in groups, and as you hear chatter about students talking about. Yellow Ribbon program is a suicide intervention program, and through our partnership with Headquarters and the Douglas County Lawrence Suicide Coalition, it was one of the initiatives we talked about, getting students trained on recognizing suicide, talking about suicide so it's not so stigmatized, but then also helping kids identify where are the resources in schools and in the community when they're feeling stressed or having suicidal ideation. So the idea is to train students to understand what is suicide, what are the resources in the school, what are the resources in the community.
The question is, why did you decide to do the Yellow Ribbon training?
I thought it was really important for me to learn and understand this because I have had friends who have come to me and telling me that they weren't feeling happy, that they were feeling suicidal kind of, and I wanted to just be able to learn how to help them.
So why did you decide to do the Yellow Ribbon training?
I decided to do the Yellow Ribbon training because I have a history of depression and anxiety in me, and I thought if I could help other people with it, because I got past of it, I thought I could help other people with their depression.
The only way we're going to change the culture is if it starts with us. Okay? I've got to be willing to make that change. I've got to be willing to be that one person.
The strategies I learned during the training were to notice things more, to notice that if they seem like they're just heading downhill, to reach out and ask if they're okay.
Well, the first strategy is to identify if the student has a plan, if they have a plan to follow through on their suicide. The second was to assure them that there was help in the building or help in the community. And on that card, it has the direct line to the National Suicide Hotline. And they also had a list that they were given of resources in the community that they can share with peers. It has Headquarters, Burton Ash, Heartland Health Care Center, and to not leave the individual alone. And if the individual wouldn't walk with them to the Student Service Center, then to find an adult to help them.
And how big of an issue is suicide or suicidal thoughts at a high school level?
Every high school is going to be a little bit different. Nationally, the statistics would say that 1 out of every 5 high school students seriously considers suicide at some point.
Suicide is a big topic for me because I did try to take my own life at one point.
So, that's a fairly significant number of students. If you think about 1,600 students, that's about 300 students at Lawrence High School who have seriously thought about that if our school is average.
I know how people feel when they say they don't want to live. And when people say, oh, why would you ever want to do that? I get it. Mm-hmm. It is the worst feeling in the world, and I can relate to it. And I got past it, so I want people to know that there is hope.
It's a community issue. It's not just a Lawrence Public School issue. It's a Lawrence, Douglas County. And I think the more we work together as a city, as a county, in raising the awareness, it will give kids more information on where they can go get help, but also just raise awareness that suicide isn't the only option or the best option, because it's a permanent option if you're successful at it. And I think
talking about it raises awareness, but also talking about it kind of alleviates that taboo, so that kids feel like they have someone to go talk to besides their friends, that there are caring adults in the school system, in the community that are willing to help.